almost convinced that like Dark Skies is struck with like some weird fate. You know, like it was all kind of like meant to happen, and like it's still continuing to happen, which is pretty cool. We just like keep stumbling upon these things. It's like, oh, we should totally do that. Hey, we need that. Hey, here's this. Like that's exactly what you need. It just falls in our laps. It's pretty intense and crazy. Yeah.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Didn't see you there. Welcome to the show. Welcome to TapThatAZ. I'm your host, Eric Walters, a podcast that brings you the stories about the Arizona craft beer scene. So welcome back to another episode. In this episode, I'm going to actually sit down with Nick and Ryan from Dark Sky Brewing in Flagstaff. First, though, pretty big announcement. This coming Thursday, September 21st, 2017, there's going to be a pour event. So this is by Arizona Food and Wine, and it is at Torch Cigar Bar on High Street in North Phoenix area. Up by, there's a Middle Mushroom up there. There's a Growler USA just east of Desert Ridge. So there's going to be an event. There's going to be music, wine tasting, whiskey tasting, food, hand-rolled cigars. So check out the link in the show notes to get tickets. But Arizona Food and Wine is really doing some pretty awesome stuff for the Arizona food and wine industry. But I'm also working with them to get a beer part of it going. So Arizona Food and Beer. So right now we've got a Facebook page, so look for that. Also put the link for that in the show notes. Arizona Food and Beer website coming up soon, and we're going to work on some events for that as well. So the whole goal is to get with this podcast and with Arizona Food and Beer, get Arizona beer on the map. So all right, we got Dark Sky Brewing Company, Nick and Ryan. Enjoy the show. Awesome. I love it. So, dudes, thanks for joining me. I got Nick and Ryan with me from Dark Sky. Yoo-hoo. You guys are pretty awesome, man. You
Thanks.
They got a setup for me here. I'm pretty excited about this. I got some beers that I'm pretty excited about, but let's get to, you guys are kind of the new kids on the block up here, right?
Yeah, we still are, even though we're a little bit over 2 years old.
Yeah.
We're the latest brewery in Flagstaff.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one coming though, so.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice. Where?
He's actually going in kind of where Target is, right when you come into town.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone
the
out there remembers the old Busters, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. I don't remember that, but I know where Target's at, which
Yeah.
is kind of embarrassing that I know where Target is. Busters.
Right.
Target's got an important spot to hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's coming in, or they are, I don't know. I know the one guy that's starting it, and they're going to be Trailcrest Brewing.
Trailcrest.
So I hope I'm
Nice.
not blowing up any spots by saying
Yeah.
that. But
Well, this won't be out till like
he's pretty-
September anyway. So
Okay.
maybe it'll
All right.
coincide with the opening. Yeah.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of more months to be the new kids on the block.
Okay, gotcha. But you guys are creating a buzz. Like honestly, like it's amazing what you guys have done to just do what you guys have done.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
And we're done. Right?
We really turned a corner this year, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Really good equipment.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was just more of like an understanding of like the process and like who we were. Yeah, it was just a lot of learning. It'd be huge. I mean, neither of us had brewed commercially before, so it was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, to go from buckets to this 3-barrel system. And really, the first year, if people don't know, we did 100 different recipes in our first year.
Yeah.
And that is both intimidating, but I'll tell you what, you want to learn about the process, learn what different ingredients do, and learn how different styles will meld or not meld together. Do that.
Yeah.
And that could have been that corner that we turned that first year. You know, it's pretty rough when you're going for 100 different recipes and still trying to be productive enough to run, you know, a business. You know, this isn't just tiny batch kind of thing. Well, it's tiny to some people.
The first couple months were a little bit hard, you know, like having to stay true to that, you know, and like explain to people like, you might not ever see this ever again. They're like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about, man? Like, I don't get this. I'm like, just keep coming back, please. And like, I think by like month 6, we had like a pretty good grip on it. And I mean, now, like, I don't know if we really even make many beers from that first year.
Really?
Because the second year, like, we really knew like what worked and what didn't.
Okay.
And yeah, it was, second year was fun.
So it was kind of getting used to, like you said, but like getting those flavors together, and also probably the equipment too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of learning how, because I've heard that's a big challenge.
Yeah, they don't really. There's no strict like manual that came with it. There's no YouTube videos. It's like people want to keep it a secret. And I mean, you know, we know the process, so it didn't take that long to figure it out. Our first beer, our null hypothesis was hot water, so we made sure it didn't make a beer on it the first time. We just brewed water. But no, I'd say we did pick up the equipment pretty fast. I mean, we almost imploded and exploded it a couple times. But
Like, don't do that.
Right. But you got to know your limitations, right?
yeah, physics is an amazing and very powerful tool.
Yes. So, well, what made you guys decide to brew, you know, home brewers, hobby, to like, hey, let's open up a business?
Oh man.
Well, it started with Shorts, really. Shorts Brewing, like, drinking all their beers, and they're psychos just like we are.
Yeah. Where's that at? Where's Shorts?
Up in northern Michigan.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, up in a little tiny town. It's got one blinking red light. It's Bel Air, Michigan, up in northern Michigan where all the lakes are.
Gotcha.
And I got introduced that to them. And yeah, like you said, they're psychos too. They had 300 different recipes in their portfolio real fast, and yeah, just very intense. Using ingredients, like truly using them, not just like a hint of this and a touch of that.
Okay.
But yeah, drinking their beers and starting out with that kind of interest in the creativity. And you know, the classic story, I got a homebrew kit for Father's Day one time. Well, I bought it for me and my father.
Okay.
For Father's Day. I don't have any kids.
Gotcha.
But and thought like, oh, you know, son of the year, that's so cool. Let's brew beer. Never ended up brewing it. And
Oh, really?
It sat in a garage in the heat for over a year. But then I was like, oh, I'm going to brew this. And I used old, hot ingredients, probably almost completely dead, if not you know, super struggling yeast. Made a terrible batch of beer, but I loved the process.
Nice.
Absolutely fell in love with the process of making beer. I was a high school science teacher for 9 years, biology, and so that really sparked my interest.
Yeah.
So just you know, the whole biology of the yeast, the different techniques and that kind of thing caught on. And so I brewed for about 4 years home brewing, and about my third year, I met Ryan a little bit earlier, and he was super into it, just stoked to be like, hey, I want to brew beer with you.
Yeah.
And so started brewing it in my garage. And once Ryan jumped into the process with me and my buddy Casey, jumped into the garage and started going, it was just, that was it. We took off. We started brewing like a batch every week almost.
Wow.
And just trying different things. You know, let's throw lavender in here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it got better. It got way better than that first batch. Right. Pretty quickly.
Nice.
Got into all grain, and then had that conversation that I swear every home brewer has around a fire in the backyard one night. You know, hey, we should start a brewery.
Over your own beers?
They probably, maybe a mix.
We were pretty lit at that point. It was like, I remember being like, yeah, man, let's do it. And then, nobody said no.
Yeah.
Like, we just kept going.
Wow.
Yeah, there was some kind of weird inertia that just kept going.
Yeah. Not the next morning. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
No,
Yeah,
it was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Let's keep with that.
I'm almost convinced that like Dark Skies is struck with like some weird fate. You know, like it was all kind of like meant to happen, and like it's still continuing to happen, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just like keep stumbling upon these things. It's like, oh, we should totally do that. Hey, we need that. Hey, here's this. Like that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
It just falls in our laps. It's pretty intense.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just falls in our laps. We haven't really done anything.
Haven't done work. I walked in, they were napping on the floor, and like the machines are just running themselves.
Oh, for sure.
Our little robots are working.
Yeah. So that's cool that you guys you had faith in the system, right? Because no one coming in, you didn't really have any flagships, right? Like here's like what our flagships are going to be.
We definitely didn't when we started.
Right.
No, not at that point at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have, I think, 2 of them that have remained on a decently consistent basis from back there.
Okay. Which ones are those?
So, which both of them are not on right now, but jalapeno, our pale ale, which we have super fans of.
Okay.
We had a little problem with the growing of the jalapenos. The guy that was growing them had to move his plants, and people ask us why it's not on right now. And we're not just going to go to the store and buy normal jalapenos. Like we truly believe in this guy's process and his jalapenos.
Okay.
And so we got to wait for that to happen. But the jalapeno pale ale and then the bear jaw is our imperial cherry brown ale.
Oh, gotcha.
And someday we'll get that back on tap because there's a lot of fans of that one as well.
High demand of that one.
Man, my throat, I am,
Yeah.
I caught a little bit of a sickness. So
Well, you were running up a hill. Like he ran from the top of the mountain today, like literally, right? For free pizza.
Not quite to the top of the mountain, but yeah, ran up about 7 miles so I can get a free pizza. Yeah.
Free pizza Clayta, though. I think we should indicate that because, like we said before, it wasn't like
not
a
Jimmy
personal
John's.
pan
I would
pizza.
do a lot of things for Pizza Coletta.
Yeah, Pizza Coletta. Shout out to him, to
Nice.
Caleb, the guy that started that. He's big in this community too. He does a lot for the community, and one of the things is this little event, that he does, and it was challenging. I haven't run in a while. But
Really?
It was a blast. Yeah.
Nice.
So sorry.
No, that's right. We're good. It's going where it's going, right? Like you said, with this place, things just kind of fall into place, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So how'd you guys come up with? I know Flagstaff's the Dark Sky City, right? That's what it's. You got. How'd you get the name?
Well, we were something else, but first.
Everybody is. That's
and,
a story I get a lot. Everyone there's so much issues with finding a name.
And prior to getting
Absolutely.
to the point where we were going to get sued, we're like, maybe we should just change the name.
Yeah.
Can you say what it was going to be?
So we were going to be Trailhead Brewing
Trailhead,
Company.
okay.
And we had logos, we had pint glasses, all that. We were super stoked, and then found one that is in Akron, Ohio, of all places to be Trailhead. I don't know, maybe they have trails in Akron, Ohio, but
Not really. I grew up 40 minutes from Akron.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. There's not
Okay.
many trails. No, there might be one. Yeah.
yeah. So it was one of those preemptive strike kind of things. You don't want to deal with that problem. Who knows if we're going to expand to be multi-state? Well, I mean, that'll probably happen, but
Heck
you don't know if you're going to butt heads or not. But if you do, you don't want to run into that later. We saw with Fate and McFate and all that.
Right.
So we were just tossing around in a text message all the owners' different names, and Dark Sky came up. And Flagstaff is the first international dark sky city. And what that means is the city has put ordinances on the amount of light that can be produced from businesses and residential,
Okay.
which is really, really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing to be able to walk outside and still be able to see the Milky Way. Mm-hmm. And, excuse me, beer's carbonated. And it's so cool that the city came together and said, we want people to have that night experience to be able to see the stars. And we've also got Lowell Observatory up on the hill.
Right.
And so it's important for them as well. So, plus Dark Sky is just a kick-ass name.
It is.
I think, I like it.
I agree.
a lot.
Yeah. I like the Dark Sky thing, too, because my in-laws lived up here for 10 years. And sitting on their back patio, we were right up against whatever the peak is furthest east. I can't remember
Mount
what.
Eldon.
Mount Eldon, yeah. They lived right at the bottom of that. And to be able to sit on their patio and just look up at the stars, it's pretty awesome. No street lights or anything like that, but...
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can get a little scary sometimes driving in
Yeah.
around here, but
it's like a zombie apocalypse. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. So, you guys have created a buzz. Like, you really have. Like, I looked on your website. I love the website. How you mention your team, everybody that's involved here, and they all have hashtags. And you guys are the hashtag Mad Scientist. And I don't think there's a better descriptive word for you guys. 'Cause
Yeah.
you really are. So, yeah. So, why so many different things? Like, why so many different Why are you guys the Mad Scientists?
I find myself to be pretty curious,
Okay.
why not?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, we're only brewing 3 barrels at a time, so if it really sucks that bad, either I'll throw it away or it'll eventually sell.
Someone's gonna drink it. Someone's gonna drink it. Yeah.
So that's the thing, though. Our beers are never bad, in an off-flavor way. Sometimes the flavors just don't work, or that hop sucked, or whatever, but...
or not as many people like banana split beer as you might imagine they did.
Yeah.
Which is not true. Actually, that was a really popular one. Sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be.
But I don't know. I love going to places and trying whatever they have that's new,
Yeah.
And I think that was the driving force of why we even started in the first place. It's all these guys make amazing beer here, but it's all the same. I've had 928 100 times. I've had Tower Station 1,000,000 times. I've had Lumberyard IPA all the time. So why not be that guy that's just the nuisance in town that makes whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like I saw Matt from BRI at Party in the Pines in Prescott,
Okay.
and he walked up and looked at our tap list, and at that point I think we had a kettle sour, Blood of My Enemies, the coffee pale ale, and something else really strange. And he just started shaking his head. He's like, "You guys just do whatever the fuck you want up there, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah. And there's
He's
probably
like-
some envy with it too, right?
Oh, they are. But
yeah.
like, it's so funny, like how proud they are of us for succeeding.
Yeah.
Doing what we're doing.
Yep.
That's another thing they told me. They're like, "Man, you guys have like really like come up over that hill,
Yeah.
And that was a cool thing for them to tell me personally. I was like, "Sweet, like
Nice.
people understand." And like they had a feeling it wasn't going to work, and we made it work anyway. So
Right. And it continues to get better and better. You guys did some a couple bottle releases lately, right? Yeah. What were those?
Yeah. We've done, so we definitely don't like have a bottling line or anything like that, but we'll hand bottle some of our special beers.
Okay.
And for our anniversary, we bottled our some barrel aged beers.
Okay.
To
Nice.
be able to release, and then we're gonna bottle another barrel beer. So mostly, I think, really most of the time, it's our barrel aged releases. They're
Gotcha.
Or, like,
released in
special
bottles.
release.
Yeah, collaborations
Yeah.
go into bottles as well. We did a collaboration with a musical artist out of Sedona, Decker.
Really?
Yeah, he
Nice.
released an album called Snake River Blues, and so we did a Black Rye IPA
Nice.
for that. So yeah, either barrel aged stuff or special collaborations.
Okay.
We'll do bigger bottle releases. So, and it's been interesting up here in Flagstaff. It's funny. You hear about all the releases down in the valley and like these huge lines and things selling
Yeah.
out so fast, and Flagstaff is not like that.
No.
Nobody buys tickets or waits in line up here. So it's been kind of a learning experience, but a little bit
Yeah.
frustrating. You're like, oh, we don't have, I don't know how many 2 million people or whatever Phoenix
wrapped
has
around the corner and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
to do that.
Frankly, I don't really want to deal with that. So
No,
nice
it's a
like,
blessing.
It's
Yeah.
nice that they come in. Like, I think anniversary was like the craziest night we've ever experienced with the line or the amount of people. But
Yeah.
seeing those bottle releases down there, we knew exactly how to handle it.
Yeah.
Keep the bar separate from the bottle release, and like everybody was like super happy. Like we got so many compliments when we were at ground control about how we handled our bottle release because it was
Nice.
orderly. And like you didn't have to stand in line at the bar and then wait for your bottles. Like it was
Yeah.
all kept separate. It ran really, really well.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean that was the worst one we've ever dealt with, and that went really, really smooth. So
Right.
maybe
Nice.
we got it kind of figured out. I guess whatever does
Maybe.
become like a problem.
Like, all right, no more.
Yeah.
We're done. Yeah. You guys will keep doing it then? You guys are going to keep doing that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean we got so many spirit barrels there, and then all of our sours are starting to get sour now, which is really cool.
Okay. Nice. Are sours? I don't know much about sours. Like, are they put in barrels like always?
So
Or
not always.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of a hot topic right now. There is something called fast souring
Mm-hmm.
or kettle souring, and you can create those sour notes within 15 to 24 hours.
okay.
So not to go too far in the process, but you basically get your sugar water, your wort, and you throw in. We throw it in yogurt.
Okay.
A lot of people use either grain or some other souring agents. We throw in yogurt.
Okay.
That bacteria will create the sour notes. You'll throw it in for regular fermentation after that.
Yeah.
But if you want all the good characteristics, there's so much more that time will give that beer.
Okay.
So most sours, and to some people, really the only true sours are sours that are barrel aged.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
Yeah, like 10 months, 16 months, 24 months.
whenever it's ready.
That's how long they take.
People ask me, hey, how long does it take to barrel age a beer? And I say 2 to 22 months.
Yeah.
Like you just,
Huge gradient.
yeah, it's a huge gradient.
Yeah.
When it's ready, it's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have people in here all the time. You got your barrel aged sours? It's like we're only 2 years old. Like, give us a little bit of time.
Patience.
Yeah, we actually really got started big this winter. I think we kind of got ahead of the game, and like we had all this extra time, so we're like, let's just try it. And like nothing was happening. And he'll be the first to tell you I have like the worst amount of like the lowest amount of patience for this stuff. And like,
Yep. You can't
it's not doing anything. Like, what do we do? And
leave it
now-
alone.
And that room was
You seem like a
it was,
patient
it was
guy,
so
Nick.
cold in the winter,
Yeah.
which was nice. Like it kept everything nice and mellow and like made everything slow. And now that it's hotter than hell back there, like they are picking up steam and like souring in a hurry.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it's really exciting. The first couple we tried, it was like, holy crap. We actually just kegged our first one this morning.
Nice.
That we're taking to Real Wild and Woody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Real Wild and Woody will be probably over by the time this comes out.
Yeah, it will be.
Because it's in
Somebody
just a
can
couple
listen
weeks.
and they'll say, hey, I had that there.
Well, hopefully,
true.
hopefully you
Yeah.
guys like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you guys in
We think
future
it's
land
pretty
think it's great. I don't see how people aren't going to like this. I don't really talk our beers up too much usually, but this is a good one.
We were all kind of taken aback by it.
Yeah.
You know, when we first tried it, and it was like, whoa, man! Like we couldn't believe like we made that.
Yeah. Who snuck in and threw some other stuff in
Who
there?
did this? Who was it? Is there hidden cameras here somewhere? Yeah. Well, so I know with sours too, there's a risk of the cross contamination, right? Like with the sours. So my buddy Justin Cross, you know Justin, right? The Alpha Ale guy on Instagram. Yeah. I think you know him, Ryan. Yeah. So he wanted me to ask you guys that is with such a small brewing facility here, how do you guys handle that?
We're not as nervous, I think, as most people are about it.
Yeah.
But we do have separation of. So there's spirit barrels, and then there's our sour that are in wine barrels.
Okay.
And what you see behind us here, that's closest to our stainless fermentation, which would be what you worried about. These are our spirit barrels. Okay. Those tend to not get infected with the bad bugs.
Gotcha. Okay.
As much.
Super high alcohol, pretty stable.
Okay.
And purposefully we put, we don't
Clean.
put sour beer in there or any of those agents. So,
Gotcha, okay.
So it's still, sure, it's a risk. Everything's a risk. You could sneeze. And, I mean, there's these Brettanomyces and lactobacillus everywhere on our skin and everything like that. So.
I don't know what that means. That's a science teacher, right? That's a science teacher. That's awesome.
I think what really made me feel okay about everything, I just got back from Portland, went up and visited DeGard, and all they do is spontaneous beers. So, like,
what do you mean
air
by that?
inoculation. So they knock out the beer and just let the air, wild yeast bacteria, whatever's floating around on that specific night.
Yeah.
And I talked to him, and he's like, I'm like, oh, you guys don't even leave your cool ship outside. He's like, no, it's inside.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you leave the door open? He's like, no. He's like, it takes that door to be open for 5 minutes, and you have plenty of stuff to inoculate
Just
and
let it
infect the
come
beer.
in and float around. Interesting.
So basically, it's if you aren't clean in your cold side processes, you're going to get infections.
Gotcha. Okay.
No matter if you're running dirty beer through it or not.
Yeah.
I call it dirty beer. It's
Dirty
not
beer.
bad
Dirty beer. Yeah.
Yeah, we just kegged that, and then we have a clean beer in the bright tank that just held that sour.
Okay.
And so what we do is we'll heat our hot liquor tank up to like 185 degrees and just run a caustic
Nuke
cycle.
it.
Yeah.
Scorched
Okay,
earth. is what I call it.
Scorched earth. I
So
love it.
yeah, I mean nothing's gonna live through that. Run it for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Dump it, clean it, sanitize it, refill it. You're fine. Like we've
Gotcha.
never had an issue.
If you guys do them a lot too, you kind of know the process. Like, okay, here's what we need to do. You get more efficient at it, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then you make stuff like this. What the hell is this? What am I drinking? This is fantastic.
You're drinking the blood of your enemies
The
right
blood
there.
of my enemies.
Wah.
I love every aspect about it. The color, the smell, like the taste. It's a sour IPA.
I would call it. So the base beer is an IPA. It's a New England style IPA is the base beer, which
Okay.
we can talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we take that and then add passion fruit and hibiscus.
Okay.
So in the sense of what normally people call a sour beer, it's not, because it's not inoculated with either lactobacillus or Brettanomyces, which are usually the ones that produce lactic acid and these sour flavors.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I can see where people would say sour because that hibiscus is like, to me, it's on the tart side.
Right. That's what Ryan was
And
telling
I've
me
actually
earlier.
read that hibiscus does have lactic or citric acid in it, which essentially is a
Yeah, so it'll probably lower that pH a little bit and,
Gotcha.
and give you those sour kind of notes. But it's not a quote-unquote sour beer.
Okay.
It just has that big dose of passion fruit and a big dose of hibiscus for that color.
Okay.
And it's crazy. It's not beer to me. It's like an adult fruit juice beverage.
It really is. Yeah, I could drink this every morning for breakfast. I really could. Yeah.
I do.
yeah. We sure do.
Yeah.
So it's been crazy. When it first came out, I kind of thought, like, not to be gender specific, there's girls out there that crush triple IPAs, but I just pictured it, a lot of girls would have this Blood of My Enemies. It's this fruity red beer. And then the first night release, you look around and everybody has a red beer.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Right.
And ever since then, just that's all you see when we have it out is red beer. It's really been a crazy ride with this
That was
beer.
probably
Yeah.
the craziest like beer we've made and released.
Okay.
Because I think the day before we're like, oh my god, like what is this thing? Like
Yeah.
we don't even know what to call it.
Right.
Like we don't even know if anyone's gonna like it.
No.
Like it was
Yeah.
that like intense.
I was a hater at first.
Really?
I,
You didn't like
I
it?
got it stuck right in
You
my
and
eye,
Omar
though.
were like, I don't
was
know,
like,
man.
I don't think
I think
people
we
are gonna
went
like
too
this.
far.
Yeah, we may have gone too far.
it.
But of course, that's when it works.
I was like, oh, let's just
Yeah.
try it, man. Let's just try it. And then
Yeah.
like the next night, it was like there's red beer
Whoops.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I
Yeah.
told you before, we brew 3 barrels of it. We're down. We put it on Wednesday, and we're already down half of the batch.
Wow.
So it'll be gone by the end of the weekend, or damn near it.
So I was pretty lucky today. Like you did it
Yeah.
Wednesday. This is Saturday, and I'm lucky to even
Yeah.
get this.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're joking though. Nick made the hashtag Dark Sky Hibiscus Farms. It's like we're seriously probably gonna need to start growing it.
Yeah. Right. Are there hibiscus farms around here?
No,
I have no clue.
I wouldn't even be able to identify what a hibiscus looks like.
Yeah, I know down the valley there's hibiscus. Are those
Are they
hibiscus?
flowers?
Or no,
Are they
the big
flowers?
red flowers. What are those down there?
Oh yeah, bougainvilleas.
yeah, bougainvillea.
No, not those.
That's the only. That's the
I'm
only. option I
pretty
had.
sure people do plant hibiscus down there.
Okay. Yeah.
But I have no clue.
Right.
If they do, we're gonna go steal it. So look
Yeah.
out, Phoenix.
That's right. You guys are going to be in the news like
Yeah,
with the
mass
with the
shortage
band
of
masks
hibiscus
on.
flowers.
This footage caught.
Don't look at us. We didn't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Why'd you wear your shirt?
Idiot.
Oh man. So that is fantastic. Huge following. And you guys ship that down to the valley, right?
When we
Ooh,
can.
man. Yeah.
When you
It's-
can.
This
Okay.
time it nobody got any.
Okay.
And they were all pretty bummed.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the first time we put it out, we were like, oh, yeah, we'll give it to a couple places, 2 or 3 places. And then we didn't have it anymore in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And so now we're pulling back. You know, we like people to come to the tap room.
Yeah.
That's another thing with us with distribution. We're about 90, I would maybe even say 95% in-house with our,
Okay.
you know, where our beer goes.
Yeah.
And then distribute a little bit out
Gotcha.
to different places. And sorry, people, we'll be changing that in the hopefully the near future.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find that if we make enough batches and big enough batches, there'll be a couple places down in the valley to grab it.
Yeah. They follow you guys on social media. You'll be able to find that. So
Absolutely.
like, see when you guys are going to be doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We actually did a pretty fun thing yesterday. We kegged our batch of West Coast IPA and had it delivered within 4 hours of being packaged.
Really.
Down to the valley, yeah.
And then I just heard
Nice.
the hop stop ran through their entire keg in 4 hours.
Oh, so
So
kegged and
that-
gone.
In 8 hours. Well, probably
That's awesome.
closer to 12, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Regardless, either way, that's
Yeah, so that was
awesome.
kind of a fun thing. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't mean it to happen, but I was like, well, it's ready, and Alan asked for it, so I was like, sure, dude, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be super, super fresh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the hype, people were like, holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He sold out all that stuff in 4 hours.
Nice. And people are probably on top of it. Social media, is that how they found out? Like, hey, it's going to be here. We got to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Technology's great.
It really is. It really is. Yes. When used in the right way, right? Because there's some people that really jack shit up.
Oh man, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, technology can be a super curse.
Yeah. Be real weird sometimes. But you guys don't make it weird, so that's
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well, that's surprising.
Sometimes.
Have you seen
Dang
some
it.
of our videos?
Yeah. I take that back. It gets real weird. I was actually talking about you guys from the beginning, but I saw the disappointment in your eyes.
No, we've done some pretty funny beer release videos.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're
Yeah.
pretty awesome. You guys were on a roof. Was it this roof? You guys were capturing wild yeast? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's spontaneous fermentation.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, fermentation kicked off like immediately.
Nice.
And then I tried it like an idiot, and it was horrible. Because
Which is
those
par for
take
the course.
a long
Yeah.
time. Like those are 3-year beers.
Oh,
Ooh.
really? Okay.
Darn. Yeah, those start off smelling and tasting a little bit like a garbage truck, but that's okay. That's kind of like
The funniest part about that is like I tried it and I texted him. I was like, "Dude, this thing sucks." I'm like, "Don't try it." I just wanted to make sure it like wasn't like extremely nasty.
Yeah.
So I dumped out the rest, and like when we were at DeGard, I asked the guy, I was like, "Hey man, like how long do you guys wait to try these?" He's like, "Oh, at least 4 to 5 months."
Oh, wow.
I'm like, "Yeah, I tried ours at like 4 weeks," and he's like, "You're an idiot." He's like, "Dude, you could have gotten so sick."
oh.
Yeah, he's so there's essentially like E. coli and like all kinds of weird, crazy inherent bacteria living in there because the pH isn't low
Okay.
and the alcohol isn't high yet. So it's really, really bad for you.
You're drinking. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like drinking like dirty stream water, kind of. in a way.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm glad you experimented with it. Now you know.
Oh yeah, I was
Now
okay.
you know. Yeah. Now Nick knows too, not to try it, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
leave
well,
it alone.
Yeah. What else do we got here? So you guys, I don't know what this is, but I just took a drink of it, and it's pretty great.
We do a lot of New England style IPAs right now, but that's our classic West Coast style IPA, which
Okay.
will usually mean more bitterness
Okay.
and drier
Gotcha.
and kind of a thinner mouthfeel.
Piney.
So
Yeah.
that
Piney. I can definitely.
yeah,
taste
think
that.
of things like Green Flash, Stone.
Okay.
Those kind of IPAs are usually more the West Coast style.
Okay.
And it's called Mountains of Mosaic,
Mountains of Mosaic.
or Momo, as I've been calling
Momo.
it lately.
I love it. Yeah.
We were calling it Mom, but we all thought that was a little bit weird. So
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. You want to go check on Mom? Wait, what?
did you taste Mom yet?
Oh.
That's it. Yeah, that would have killed it for me too.
Yeah.
I'm actually not going to drink the rest of this. Because of that, yeah.
Yeah. So that was probably our first, what we call irresponsibly dry hopping our beers.
Okay.
That was the
Yeah.
first one we put in a stupid amount of hops, of Mosaic hops, which is why it's called Mountains of Mosaic.
Okay. I like Mosaic hops.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's one of my
beautiful stuff.
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Very versatile
Unreal.
too.
yeah.
I feel like you can use it in all styles of IPA. Like that one's got New England style IPA's got a bunch of Mosaic in it. It's just it lends itself that like grapefruit juiciness to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that one was. We had an extra bag left over. I was like, hey, what do you think about just throwing all of it in there? All right. What else are we gonna use? 1 pound or 2 pounds worth of Mosaic?
Yeah.
You know.
And that's why
All
it's
the home brewers
mountains.
are like,
Yeah.
2 pounds of Mosaic. Yes, please.
That goes a long ways.
So that's why it's mountains of Mosaic.
Yep.
'Cause there's just so much in there. Oh man, what the hell's Angels? Damn, it gets loud, huh?
Yeah.
This break brought to you by Harley.
Right. Yeah. By the hell's Angels?
Straight pipes save lives. So Mountains of Mosaic, that's one that we try to keep on constantly. It's if we had a flagship IPA, it's that.
Okay.
We had a couple that we went through that we thought were going to be our flagships, but once that hit, that's going to stick around. People love that one.
Yeah. It's good. It's really drinkable. It's like really like it's not in your face, like you know.
Yeah,
It's got a nice aroma, flavor, and I don't know. It appeals to everybody who grew up drinking like Stone IPA or like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or whatever.
But it does have a little bit of that I don't know what I'm trying to think of, but almost a little bit of the northeastern kind of.
To that juiciness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the late additions the amount of the late additions or the dry hop that we do,
Okay.
yeah, we'll give it that. That's where you're going to get the oils from the hop, so you're getting that stick to your tongue kind of juiciness type of thing going on. So yeah, that's cool that
Gotcha.
you picked that up.
Yeah, nice, man.
And the scent.
Yeah.
The smell.
Yeah.
I can smell that thing from like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, that's from those oils that are added. Not oils added. The oils from the hops that add at the end of fermentation.
Gotcha.
But-
Okay. So segue into Northeast because you actually on my way up here I listened to you guys' episode. Here they come again. All right, Doc, get under the tables. Oh no, that's a semi.
Yeah, you can probably close that door.
I love that brick. There's a
Yeah.
brick holding not a brick like holding the door like at the bottom. It's like in the jam.
We do what we can here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on my way up here was one of your newer episodes. We're going to get into that because Nick, you do you actually joined him with this episode of Brew Trails. Right?
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit, but last episode was Northeastern IPAs. That's like the big thing now, right? So which one of this is right here, right?
Yep.
Number 7.
There's resist you cannot.
Risk you cannot.
Resist you cannot. So you cannot's the hop variety, and then thought it was kind of cool.
I like
play
it,
on
man.
words.
Yoda style.
Yeah,
Resist
Yoda
you
style.
cannot.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
so
you can edit that out.
no, I'm going to keep it. That's actually going to be the little bit at the beginning.
Nice.
That's the quote.
Excellent. I made the beginning part.
Yeah.
So that's Resist You Cannot. It's kind of our session New England style IPA.
Okay.
We've got a couple of them on, but I'll definitely let Ryan talk about the New England style IPAs. They're his jam, if you will.
Nice.
I kind of hate them. It's like a love-hate thing. You
Okay.
know, like
Never mind, I'll talk about them. So
you brew these things, and you know it's like dirty and full, and like it looks like a mess, but
Yeah.
they're delicious. You know, like
Yeah.
there's some I've had that like get like zero perceived bitterness, like just drinking hop juice.
Yeah. Some ones taste like mimosas.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, yeah.
Yeah, that one. So Yukonot's a pretty interesting hop. It's very like lime forward, like lime pith.
Okay.
A lot more bitter than I had anticipated, but
Okay.
that's why we experiment with stuff here.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the deal? Because I know people that I've talked to, especially brewers, they're pretty split on Northeastern. There's some brewers that hate them. Like they're like,
Yeah.
I hate those hazy beers. I hate them. It just, a guy I work with is a home brewer. He's pretty good. And he's like, it's just a bunch of crap in there. You know, like.
It's really not though. Like,
Yeah.
It's yeast variety that like holds solids in suspension. Like you're not
Okay.
drinking yeast cake.
Right.
You're drinking just a cloudy beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the amount of hops that go in those things, like that's also going to haze the beer a ton too.
Yeah.
But almost all of them I've had are very, very clean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this one is not because it's first pour, so we're getting, you know, that one should be extremely clean.
Oh, this is different. So I'm
Yeah.
drinking something different than you. Oh, yeah. You let me taste that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one just got kegged this morning, so there's a lot of
nice.
stuff still floating around. We don't filter anything here, so there's no
Okay.
way of stopping some of that stuff.
Okay.
Just time.
I think the split and the people who are, I don't know, hating on them, I guess, if you will, have probably had really bad experiences with them because there's really two ways you can make a beer look and taste hazy.
Okay.
One of them is a good way, which is, I think, what we're doing. The techniques we're using and the ingredients we're using are making them hazy in a very good, very juicy, very floral way.
Okay.
The other way is disgusting.
Yeah, it's
If
pretty
you have
pretty
actual
wild.
yeast, if you have actual yeast still floating around and you haven't crashed that out, like you get ibuprofen-y, tannic kind of tastes.
Yeah.
And so I think it probably happened with every style where when it first came out and first became popular, people are trying to do it and they're getting bad tastes in their mouth, literally.
Right.
Bad tastes in their mouth. But something to be said about these IPAs is they are a beautiful thing. And I think when you take a sip of them and you get that just like flower juice from the hops and you get that mouthfeel and you get that wheat and oats. So we put a bunch of wheat. Let's make sure wheat.
I would love to
Wheat
try that one.
oats.
Yeah. You guys should experiment with that a little bit. You know?
Man.
Everybody go out and vote this year.
I had one at GABF. It was not
Yeah, I
very
think
good.
that they had I'm pretty sure they had the biggest line at GABF.
They did, yeah.
Was it
It
a
was-
Colorado brewery?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting like all the essence of the hop.
Okay.
You
Gotcha.
know, like,
yeah.
It's not bitter. You're getting all flavor characteristics of like what that hop is.
Yeah.
And how cool is that some people who normally would be like, I don't like IPAs because they're bitter, so they'll stay
you
away
can
from
have
it.
these.
Now you can actually taste a lot of hops
Yeah.
without being, slapped in the face with this bitterness. Because there should be in a true New England style IPA, at least as far as I know, there should be really no bitter as a prevailing characteristic.
Gotcha. Okay. And this does have a little bit of that, and I like that.
Yeah. So again, that was from Yukonot, or formerly known as Equinox. Like that
Okay.
hop is just, it's bitter in general. I mean, that's just the flavor of it. You're getting that like citrus pith is what
Okay.
I kind of described it as.
Yeah. So it's
Which-
a gateway. It's a gateway beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
slow alcohol too. So.
Yeah.
Kind of middle of the road, but the reason I love that beer, and I think Nick would agree, it's 4.5%, but it's
Okay.
like so much flavor packed into that little tiny beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I love it because because if I keep drinking some of these, you got some high octane ones here, like that are just like staring at me, like a creepy dude across the bar just looking at me saying, "This is happening."
You gotta let you go that stout last when it's like a room temp. That's gonna blow your mind.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's perfect that's
Yep.
sitting there, kind of. But if you drink those all day, by 2:00 you're gonna be,
Oh, God.
2:00, dude. That's
Dude,
like
yeah.
half hour later you're done.
I have a 10 ounce of that one.
Yeah. I need to take a break. Let me drink this one right here. This northeastern session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's really was an experiment for us.
Okay, yeah.
Especially with the hop.
Yeah.
That was our first time using that hop, and you do have to kind of tweak your recipes eventually to get what you want. And that was our first go at it. I mean, it's a beautiful taste, but we've got some bigger New England style IPAs. Our Cirrus is our, if you would call a flagship one, the one we're always doing.
Gotcha.
And that one, yeah, it's like no bitterness. It's all just juicy, hazy.
Okay, gotcha. So what else do we got here? What
All right.
else? So we've got a little lineup here, and I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, so we poured a couple tasters here.
Snooze Buttons, first one there.
Yeah, 17 is Snooze Button. That's our coffee pale ale.
Coffee pale ale.
Yeah.
Once again, something you don't see very often.
No.
Those actually gained
they
some
are
pretty good popularity in like the last year or so. Too.
Yeah, they're starting
okay.
to come up.
Yeah.
And
Because you guys.
Well, no.
I'll say.
I remember the first time we made one, Java the IPA. Like we had this, like somebody was like, "Oh, you should totally put coffee in an IPA." I was like, "That sounds awful."
Right.
Like that just like to me just did not work.
Right.
And I think I went and bought a bottle of like Rogue Pale Ale that had coffee, and I was like, "Wow, this could totally work."
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know if the bitterness of the coffee and the bitterness of the hops is going to meld together.
Yeah.
And there was no one doing them back there then. I mean,
No, it was like one or two people that had a couple.
yeah.
And you had the coffee Kolsch from Huss.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. I think that was the first one that I went to a bar and
Like a blonde coffee beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so weird. The guy's like, "Oh," I'm like, "I don't know what I want." He's like, "You gotta try this." I'm like, I don't know. I like coffee and a porter or a stout."
Right.
He's like, "You gotta try this," and I'm like, "All right, whatever." Holy shit, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
one is good.
got kind of that, but this has got, like you said, it's the more of the pale ale. Like it's got
Yeah, so it's going to be a little
body.
exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. It's going to have a little bit more body. I think there is still an intensity on the coffee, as much as say the coffee Kolsch, but I think it's a little bit more subdued than the coffee Kolsch, which makes sense. A Kolsch is really light.
Yeah.
That one, I was calling that the crack. For a little while, because I would bring a crowler off on my I'd go skinning up on the mountain because we've done that one before.
Yeah.
And then get back to the truck and just kind of sip on a little bit of it, and all of a sudden, I mean, that buzz is just
Caffeine shakes.
So you get
Yeah.
the caffeine boost
Oh,
in
yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
So essentially, it's like cold brew in beer.
Yep.
So we steep the beans cold side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were telling me you guys get the beans from right down the street, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, late for the train always.
Yeah, I haven't been to that place. I've been
Oh,
to
man.
Macy's.
Yeah, their
I've been
coffee's
to
amazing.
a couple other coffee places, but I've heard
We've got-
the train.
Yeah, we've got some great coffee places up here.
Yeah.
Obviously, Macy's is unbelievable, but yeah, late for the train, they're kind of our coffee go-tos.
Nice.
They'll actually even roast stuff specifically for us.
I was going to
which
ask
is
you
really
about that.
neat.
Yeah, nice. Like you say, here's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And we'll roast it
Well,
based on
that beer specifically is kind of turned into like almost showcasing like their roaster's choice. They do it like every few weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, it's worked out pretty nice. Like
Yeah.
different coffee varieties, and let them put their favorites in there every single time.
Their
so.
little touch.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. It's good. Very good. I like them all. I think I've liked everything that you guys have had. We came in here not too soon after you guys opened, and I remember that jalapeno beer. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it's burning my mouth a little bit, but I like it. Yeah, so I love that you guys are experimenting, and everything that I try it's so unlike everything else that I've tried. And I love that, so that's why I love coming up here. Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Nick's about to cry. He just teared up a little bit.
No, I'm not. Bug flew in my eye.
So what's this? Number 14. This is-
That's our first stainless steel Brett fermented saison.
Wow, okay.
Say what?
Yeah. Pretty fun. It's actually a new variety from Hawaii East, I think.
Okay.
I think that's where we like found out about it. Yeah, it's a saison Brett mixture.
Okay.
So I would imagine like the more generations we use it, it could get more horsey and barnyardy, which
Okay.
is kind of what we want.
Horsey. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, a description of the Brettanomyces. Some species, and depending on their conditions, will create barnyard or horse blanket as a descriptor.
Really?
Which,
Leather.
yeah, like just funk, kind of.
Yeah.
And so
Horse
it's a
blanket.
terrible description,
It is.
but I love them. Because there's some varieties of Brettanomyces, Brett, that produce more mangoey, citrusy kind of things, and they're still good. But that's kind of one of my little mini goals this next year is to find that Brett species or build up that Brett species that really just funks it up.
Gotcha. What do you mean Brett species? What does that mean?
So there's brewer's yeast.
Okay.
So there's a couple different things that will ferment beer out. The number one choice, the regular brewer's yeast, is Saccharomyces.
Okay.
And so that's really just the type.
Okay.
Of just like you have different types of dogs.
Gotcha.
There's also Brettanomyces. And myces is fungus.
Okay.
These are all fungus. These are all single-celled fungus.
Yeah.
And so
They sound like characters on 300. I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So anyway, sorry, I interrupted your flow a little bit.
No, I'll have to see 300. I don't know 300. What was I saying? Oh, Brettanomyces. Yeah, so it's just a different variety of yeast that has different,
It's like
different
Belgian,
attributes.
clean, lager. You're getting
Gotcha.
different flavors from regular yeast. Brett's the same way.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, like a Chihuahua will bark all the time, a German
Yeah.
Shepherd will bite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've all got different.
description.
Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
different. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Brettanomyces will bite you in a different way than
Yeah.
a poodle will lick you. And that's weird.
Right. I love it though, but it paints a picture in my mind. I understand now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Brett Saison.
Yeah, and even
great.
so, here's a good little addition to that. Saison is a type of yeast as well, a type of another
gotcha.
kind of flavor in the profile.
Yeah.
And those are called farmhouse ales. Those are
Yeah.
the Saison means season, and it gives it that I call it peppery.
Okay.
So if
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
Saisons, they're kind of peppery, kind of floral. So
Yeah.
they've
They
got a specific.
fruitiness to them.
Yeah.
But there's that peppery part that kind of distinguishes them from like something like a Hefeweizen or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
there's another type of yeast, the Hefeweizen, that'll give you your banana and your cloves. So
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
actually, you don't just throw in any old yeast. You really have to pick what you're going for.
Right.
So in that one, I think the Saison is dominant for sure. And like Ryan said, if we can maybe get a couple generations out of that, the Brett will start to take over,
Okay.
start to
Really
take control.
Stress it out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they don't mind heat as much as like a clean yeast. So
Gotcha.
that one got up to like 85 degrees, I think, at one
Eh,
point.
It pinned it. We're not
Yeah.
exactly sure, but
It may have gone higher.
yeah, that's what's
But
great
that-
about Saisons. And
They get crazier and like I think they get better. The hotter they get, the more awesome phenols are produced and
Okay.
get some really cool flavors out of them.
Nice.
yeah, you
Nice.
heat them up, they start screaming, and sometimes those screams taste delicious.
Yeah.
Right. That's another good one. You guys are really good with the descriptors. Like, give me a picture in my mind.
I was a high school teacher. I have to say something like 5 different ways to get everyone's attention.
Yeah.
So.
So what's up next here? Number 13. This is a is that a brown?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, the base is, so we brewed a hoppy brown ale.
Okay.
Stumbling Buddha, but what's cool about our system, we can split batches. And so we took half of it, and Ryan's like coconut crazy right now.
Okay.
Summertime.
So yeah, down by the beach.
Down by the beach, boy.
Oop, we just gave away a name of one of our
Dang
beers.
it. That's coming.
Oh, it'll be out by the time this comes out.
Okay.
anyway.
Okay.
So
It'll be
sorry.
long gone.
Yeah.
So brown ale is the base, and then went with coconut and cocoa nibs, so chocolate coconut. So basically like an almond joy, which is me and Ryan's
man.
absolute favorite type of candy, and I think it's also Andrew Bauman's.
Yeah, he almost killed us the
Yeah.
one day we did a collaboration beer and like we went through like
An entire
20
Halloween
apiece.
bag.
Yeah,
Who's it?
I
Who
was-
is Andrew Bauman? Who's
So he's a brewer at Uncle Bear's.
Bear's. Oh, gotcha,
He used to
okay.
brew for the Perch,
Okay.
and if you've met him once, you know him.
Okay.
He is very intense. His
Is-
personality is awesome.
one of my favorite people. That,
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy will wear you out. Oh yeah.
I got to get him on the show then.
Yeah.
For sure.
He'd be
He'll be a hoot.
a hoot. He'd be a hoot and a holler. Yeah, so that's it's called Jump for Joy
Okay. Nice.
with the almond joy there.
Yep.
And
I've been putting
yeah.
this one off because that's the one. That's
the one staring at you from the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? What do we got here?
We have our collaboration with Ground Control,
gotcha.
which is a craft beer and coffee and food place out in the, West Valley.
Yeah.
And he, Ian, came up from the valley to brew that with us, and he basically was like, I want all the specialty malts. I want a ton of specialty malts. I want a ton of chocolate, a ton of black malt. I want to throw coffee in there, a ton of maple syrup. Like, he just wanted like everything
Yeah.
in this stout. And so do you know how much maple syrup went into that one?
Hold on.
His face.
Half
you
of
can
a
see his
crap
face.
ton,
He's, like,
so whatever that is.
calculating.
Yeah, he's totally, look at
Yeah.
that.
You see that?
That's
His eyes are
intense.
It was
moving. Yeah.
too a lot. I don't even know. Like
What's
I
the
lost
movie with
track.
Russell Crowe? A Beautiful Mind. That's that.
It's
that was what I
written
just
down over there
pictured, yeah.
somewhere.
Oh, math.
He just blacked out for a
Yeah.
second, but yeah.
So a ton of Vermont maple syrup, always grade B. Grade B is the best. I know
Okay.
that's non-intuitive. And then there, what else? Coffee and a whole bunch of black and chocolate malts, and it ended up being 11.5%.
Wow. Okay.
And so it is which isn't like our biggest beer we've done, but it's still it's an intense beer too.
It
It's
is.
one of the most flavorful, I think, that I've been telling people. It's like our most flavorful, intense beer that we've done.
It
You
coats your mouth, and I took a sip of it 3 minutes ago, and it's still there.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
we
like,
made the joke. We're like, wow, we made a stout that will like destroy your palate for an IPA.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
It's great. Like literally, like once you have
So
that,
true.
everything else just like doesn't even taste like anything anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, well, everything tastes like maple syrup.
Yeah.
So we even took it one step further when we bottled it and added a bunch of maple syrup extract to the wax when we were dipping the wax.
Oh, really?
It stunk this place up for like 3 days.
in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah, like burnt maple syrup.
So
Like smelled like
not
pancakes.
burnt, like real. Like our beer slinger Lindsay came in and like without skipping a beat, she goes, "Why does it smell like Canada in here?"
Canada.
Yeah.
So the only time, ladies and gentlemen, that you'll ever hear of us using extracts in this brewery is when we put it in the wax of the bottles that we release.
Gotcha.
So if you smell that wax,
Good point.
it smells just like maple syrup. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like
So
a
a
candy.
buddy of mine had a bottle sitting in like the rest of his bottle collection, and he got a text from his wife. He's like, "Hey," she's like, "Hey, I think one of your bottles is leaking. It smells like pancakes in here." And he's like, "No, it's just the one with the red wax.
Right.
It's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good,
that's an
man.
intense one.
You can't have. I mean, I wouldn't be able to have more than one of these.
Nope, 5
Yeah.
ounce or even shots. We've done shots with it. Not
Yeah.
that I recommend.
Right. Shots. Hour of power, one every minute for 60
Oh
minutes.
God,
Oh,
Oof.
man.
That would be rugged.
Yeah,
Next
that
day
would
would
be-
hurt.
So yeah, I
Lasted
describe it
12
as you take your pancake, you let the maple syrup soak in it, and then you dip it in espresso because that coffee
Yeah. It
taste
is
is intense on there
significant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 2 pounds per barrel of coffee in there.
Okay. Wow.
So quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. I don't know much about like measurements and stuff, but I know that's
That's a lot.
significant. Yeah.
too. Yeah, that's more than we've done before.
Yeah.
When I told my friend at Avery like how much coffee we use in our beers, he's like, "Jesus Christ, man!" He's like, "That's a little much." Like they have one. I think he told us it was like 1.25 pounds, like barely over 1 pound, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, we're like way more than that."
Right. What works though? That's what
Yeah.
matters. It works for sure.
That coffee saved that beer. To
Yeah?
be completely frank, yeah. Like when we were trying it out of the tank, we're like, "This, we may have." Again, like gone too far.
You guys
like,
seem to say that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
You seem to be like, I don't know, but it works out, right?
Yeah, we had to pull a little black magic on that, and I'd say with the specialty, when you start using a lot of roasted malts, like your black malt,
Okay.
especially, it becomes intense real fast. And so we used a
Gotcha.
lot of black malt and a lot of chocolate malt.
Okay.
But yeah, with that coffee and that maple syrup, it just tended to make a turnaround.
yeah, I was gone, and he was texting me. He's like, "I don't know about this thing." And I'm like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "What happened to him?" Like, and I knew it was intense when I left, but I'm like, "It'll mellow out."
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
it didn't.
It
You know,
did.
the base beer was like, I don't know if we could have even served it, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. But you know, back sweetening it with like conditioning it on more maple syrup, and then that coffee like just smoothed everything out, and it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really good. You guys should save a screenshot each time when you guys text saying this isn't going to work. Right?
Bad
Yeah.
idea, dude. Well, I almost sent one this morning about the.
Your label on the bottle when you guys start. Yeah.
Oh, ooh,
We just
I like
added a
that.
bunch of
Yeah.
coconut and pineapple to New England beer, and I'm like, when I tasted it, I was like, that's really intense.
Yeah.
Like, this may be too much again,
Right.
but it's probably going to work out fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are expanding too. Like, so when I first came here, you guys didn't have this. We're over like near the brewing facility here. You guys have a patio now too, right?
Yeah, we've got a little back patio.
Yep.
In Flagstaff, you kind of have to.
You got to. Yeah. And you guys, I mean, I don't know where it's located, but you guys got a pretty good view of the mountain.
No, not from this patio.
Okay.
We have a pretty sweet view of the new hotel. That's about it.
Oh,
Yeah, the Marriott
that's
going
right.
up.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, all their windows have a pretty sweet view of our patio, so that's going to be good. They're going to look
nice.
down and see the food truck. So we got a food truck on site
Okay.
every hour that we're open.
Yeah, nice.
Out on the patio. The patio's real nice. It's small, but it's what we could do for now. I mean, there is the eventuality of going up top.
Okay.
We've got the rooftop that will eventually be able to create a rooftop patio, and that'll be a game changer.
Heck yeah. Yeah, there's really no one here that has rooftops.
No, there's
like two,
one
right?
restaurant,
Yeah.
Root. I don't know if there's any others.
Is that the one down by Historic? The
Yep.
Historic Top and Bottle? Yeah, yeah. And it amazes me because the views here are unbelievable.
Yeah, from up on our roof, you can see the peaks unencumbered.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, that'll happen
Nice.
someday.
So, real quick before we wrap it up, you guys, you got the podcast. Nick, you got a podcast. I've listened to it since you started it. I love it. I think it's great because it takes you through like the adventures. The one I remember, you were in Oak Creek looking for yeast, and you fell down a hill or something.
Oh,
right?
God.
Like on audio, it was like
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite the adventure. Don't wear flip-flops trying to go down like a 45-degree grade while carrying 3 mason jars.
right, and recording like you were.
And recording, yeah.
It was all worth it though. We caught something pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so the Brew Trails is just kind of a creative outlet. Again, going back to why you asked why we do so many of these beers, it's just creativity is definitely in me and Ryan's blood, and so the podcast, we're both really big on outdoor adventures too.
Okay.
Ryan's a intense downhill bike rider. I rock climb, do some trail running, and again, our first name was going to be Trailhead. That's because of our love and our passion. You'll always see things like surfing videos and rock climbing videos and biking videos on our projector.
Yeah.
So the Brew Trails is just a way of me kind of incorporating some of these outdoor things that are going on in the community and also our beer. So I don't know how well it captures everyone's attention, but I like it. And sometimes I'll be interviewing one of our DSB athletes that runs, has a race, and then I'll go back and we'll talk about the New England style IPAs, and then we'll go back and, I'll do, me capturing yeast. So it's kind of a flip-flop of outdoor kind of things and then beer kind of things. So it's fun. I love the whole podcast kind of thing. It's just, again, a creative outlet.
I think it's a good supplement too, because with the buzz you guys are creating and the bigger you get, it gives people an inside look into like your guys' minds, right? And just you as people. And that's kind of what my goal is with this show, is to like, beer is important, but I think even more important is the story and the people behind all this stuff, and that the Brew Trails gives people an inside look, like they're right there with you, falling down the hill, trying to catch you.
No.
Ryan, don't step there. Why'd you wear flip-flops?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is
Or
about
Nick.
the story.
I called you Ryan.
It is. Oh,
he might
okay.
have felt.
I've been called worse.
Yeah.
A lot.
It is all about the stories. The beer is good, but it's an isolating point to sit around and share stories and share fun times and stuff. And that's what gets us stoked at the end of the day is when people come in and say, I went to your event, I went to this puppy rescue, I went to this, we do a beer run around town every once in a while, and God, that's just awesome. It's just cool to be able to be a business that is ingrained in the community and that can give to the community and have fun with the community. We're not like just a store selling plates or whatever.
Right.
I don't know why I picked plates.
Store. There's a plate store right across the street.
Yeah,
plates and stuff.
those punks.
But I know what you mean. Like you're creating that. And that's what I've noticed with the beer community too. Is it's such a great community, and it contributes so much to outside the beer community. And people are getting more and more receptive of, like, oh, do you want to put a you're not putting a bar that they're doing, shots from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah. Where people in communities are like, yeah, bring a brewery. It's family oriented, I mean, it's a completely different
Some of the best
realm.
experiences I've had at places are like when you can go in and, somebody talks to you about like what you're drinking, you know, or you can see where it's being made. Like, I don't know. There's just something very, very cool about that. And happy to be a part of it, It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So where do you guys do you have a vision of where you want it to be?
Well, it's happening faster than we thought.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay,
we're in the very
dreaming.
beginning stages of like the next step.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We're dreaming right now.
Yeah.
And those dreams are, 5-year plans are becoming 2-year plans, 10-year plans are becoming 6-year plans.
Yeah, I think the
Which is
5-year dream
scary.
is now like,
Upon us.
yeah, it's some guy slapping you in the back of the head saying like, you need to go now or pay the consequences. So yeah, it's I don't know. This time I keep telling everybody, it's not scary anymore.
Okay.
Like we passed that 2 years and like we know who we are and like we know that people like want it.
Yeah.
We have a demand and like let's give it to them. Like we're not talking like 10,000 barrels per year. Like I don't know if we ever really want to do that, but
Right.
at least to be able to like give these people the beer that like they've asked for now. We owe that to them. I described it as like we had one problem we fixed that problem, and we fixed that problem so well, it's created another problem.
Okay.
So now we're having to solve this problem.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool. You know, that's what being a small business owner is about, is constantly moving and changing. And
Right.
I mean, our brew calendar, like, we've got like, don't judge us, but maybe 2 weeks planned out on there.
Really?
And that's
Oh,
very, very rough. Like that, like changes. Well, it changed this morning again because one was ready. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's ready, put it on tap. Like you have a tap open, clear the tank, man. Like get ready for
Yeah.
the next one. Cause that's the hard part about brewing on 3 barrels is you gotta like keep that turnover going like as fast as possible. Like if you want to
Yeah.
keep beer on tap.
Okay. Gotcha.
Our anniversary party nearly killed our supply. Like we were, I kid you not, like 10, 12 kegs left in our walk-in.
You think you were thinking you're gonna have to shut down for a week just to kind of?
Ooh,
Oh, no.
no way. We will never
We'll
let
just
that
work
happen.
a couple 17-hour days. In a row.
Okay. All right. Nice. I like to
That was
hear
a bad idea. I don't think we'll ever do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun day. But yeah, definitely more is in the future.
Okay. Nice.
We're not slowing down anytime soon, and just like you said, fulfilling what people want. We've heard the cries, you know, especially down in that big metropolitan area down south.
Absolutely. Yeah.
More.
So that's something we're gonna work on.
Nice. Awesome, guys.
Bleeding into the beers, man.
Yeah. Well, you guys are creating a buzz. Keep it up. I really appreciate you guys talking to me. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, this is rad. I
Yeah.
love it.
Fun.
I know. I feel like I should come up here every week.
Well,
Oh,
obviously.
sounds good.
How can you beat this weather? I was just down there
Oh,
yesterday. I
dude.
know what it's like.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It is. Like usually around August, September, I'm like, why the hell did I do this? I moved
Yeah.
from Ohio like 10 years ago, and I'm like, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but this might be the worst, right? And then a month later, I'm like, best decision I've ever made.
The winter is pretty epic down there.
The what?
The winter time down there when you
Oh,
can go and it's
unreal.
70 degrees. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about living in Flagstaff, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
we have the snow and then that cool city to go hang out in when it's 70 degrees, sitting by the
Yep.
pool in the middle of January. Like, top that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nick's a big fan of flip flops. You can wear those 8 months out of the year, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So they can, what is it? What's your website? Social media, all that.
DarkSkyBrewing.com.
Okay.
And so you can find an updated tap list on that and some cool stories. But we're always, almost too much, we're always on Facebook showing goofy stuff and telling you about our beer releases and events. And then Instagram as well. Instagram, I don't know, I think it's like dark_sky_brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find us. Just put a search in. But
Yeah.
I think it's pretty fun following us. We do some fun stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, I love following you guys. It's almost it's sometimes like a variety show. A little bit. Like you guys get into characters
Like the
sometimes.
Gong Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've gotten into
Sitting
a
on the
couple
roof in lawn
characters.
chairs, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So keep it up, guys.
Cool. We'll do more now
Appreciate
that
it, yeah.
we know people like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what you've just opened.
Yeah. Oh,
Dang
man.
it.
The ideas that flow around this place after popping a couple beers. It's like,
Oh man, yeah. If you
boy.
saw our America Berry release where we took Team America and I overdubbed it, I mean it was awful, but
Yeah, I don't think
it
I've
was
ever seen that.
hilarious.
It was so good. It was
I'm
bad.
laughing in the middle of it. But anyway, yeah, no, thank you so much for coming up. Like I love your podcast. I've been getting into it. I've got about half of them down. I got half more to go, but I'm jealous. You're really doing a great job. with it.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I think that's another key to Arizona craft beer right now, and it's on the move for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're helping
know,
it out,
yeah,
so
you
we
can't
appreciate
miss
that.
Yeah.
We
absolutely.
highly appreciate
I
that.
love it. It's tough. It's really tough.
It is.
Having all of these beers.
Oh,
Yeah, right?
You're being sarcastic.
Horrible.
No, but I'm a perfectionist, right? So I want it to be, so I go into it professionally, but halfway through, I'm like, all right, just drinking beer. This is great, talking
Yeah,
to people.
I think like during Arizona Beer Week, like we all started complaining because it's not a week anymore. It's 14 days.
Right,
You know,
yeah,
your events
yeah.
start early now, and like I think by that Wednesday and like it ends on that Sunday, we have a big event up here that like halfway through you're just like, God, dude, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm just tired. Like I think we had 5 events in Phoenix, and we were going back and forth
Oh, wow. Yeah.
while making the beer,
Yeah.
and like I was so over it. But by the end, you're like, you're going to a place where people are enjoying your product, and you get to drink beer with people who love you. Like,
Yeah, so
Right.
shut up.
how ridiculous is that to like complain about it? You know,
Yeah.
like yeah, it hurts, but like suck it up, man. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this community. Like I'm 38 and I never knew what I wanted to do with my life. Like 6 months ago, I'm like, craft beer. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what aspect, but
Nice.
But yeah, so
1978.
1978. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
right
too?
on. Yeah.
Nice, dude.
High five.
What date?
September 24th.
November 9th. So we're
Huh.
like 6 weeks apart.
Yeah, I'm
man,
still the old man.
Yeah, you are.
Always the old man.
Right. I would have guessed that anyways, but no. But no, you guys are awesome. Keep it up.
Cool.
Really appreciate
Thank you.
this. Hey, thanks for listening to another episode. You guys got to get to Dark Sky, try their beer. If you got the rare opportunity down here in the valley to try it out, or wherever you are, try it. They've got some pretty crazy, wacky stuff. They also have a podcast called Brew Trails. Link in the show notes for that. But check it out. Awesome dudes. One of my favorite interviews thus far. So if you guys are liking the show, as always, let's spread the word. Let's get Arizona beer on the map. Rating and review on iTunes always helps. Tell a friend. Let's get the word out there. But in the meantime, always remember, stay awesome.